Más adelante en este episodio.
I think it was when I was about 30. There was a change, definitely. I became a mom, so that of course changed a lot and made me focus. I broke up with my band. I had a band out of 7 people, and I needed a new start and needed to find myself again.
Sometimes it could be motherhood. Sometimes it's a life event, you know. Sometimes it could be yoga. Sometimes, like when you do a headstand or a handstand, you'd say, like, if I did that, I could do anything.
Maybe I'd call it magic because it somehow feels kind of magic. And growth has a lot to do with the people in your life, and you talk and you grow together with others.
I really celebrate the courage of being an artist.
Ya pasaron mis 30 y ahora, ¿qué viene después? Cada año nos moldea de maneras que nunca podríamos imaginar. Lo bueno es que seguimos creciendo juntos, ahora en Los Ta. Yo soy Laura y te invito a conversar sobre las oportunidades y desafíos de cada etapa de la vida, con invitados que me han inspirado a hacer un viaje más profundo y consciente hacia la adultez, mientras nos conocemos mejor a nosotros mismos. En Los Ta es un espacio para abrazar la vida adulta con gracia y sabiduría. Acompáñanos.
Welcome to En Los Ta. You are my first English-speaking guest, so
Yeah.
I'm excited. Hi, Katy. How are you?
Hi, Laura. I was so happy to see you and to talk to you again, because I feel like it's been years since we met.
3 years. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I just feel like we were together at the beach in Nicaragua, and now it's like time flies.
Yeah, time flies. A lot has happened in these last 3 years.
Yes.
I actually don't remember. Were you there 2019 or 2020?
I think it was 19.
So maybe it's 4 years. Maybe it is 4 years.
It was right before lockdown.
Okay, so it was 2020 then.
2020. Yeah, it must have been 20. Yeah, then yeah.
Yeah, it's been a journey for all of us. And
Yes.
a lot has changed personally in the world, in our lives. But here we are with one thing that never changes, and it's your passion for music.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
the beauty of growth, you know, the beauty of evolution. And I'm here to celebrate that. I'm very, very excited about what we're going to share today. And
Sure.
I have to introduce you from a personal standpoint and from genuine curiosity. I don't think we ever got to talk about your music career. We got to talk about other things, but I just met you as a great travel pal in Nicaragua. We were there with our partners, and it was an amazing trip at the beach, and we had fun and some cigars and beers and parties and rum. So it was a whole experience. And now I get to see you and even to see myself in a total different light, you know? Now I see you as an artist again. I see you as a mom. So tell me a little bit about this evolution, these last 3 years. What happened?
Yeah, there really happened a lot. But to break it down on, I say the big things, yeah. I became a mom, so that of course changed a lot and made me focus. It really made me focus because your time is worth more now, and you have less time for yourself. So the things you do need to be really like, need to mean something and on point. And so I broke up with my band. I had a band out of 7 people, and right at the end of the year, I was clear about that I needed a change, and I really wanted to go for the music thing, and I needed a new start. And needed to find myself again. And I think you know how that is. It's always a trip, and you're always re-finding yourself again. But I'm in a place where I'm very happy now, because I just get to do what I love and see where it takes me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing. And I wonder, like all this time, many things happened around the world in these last 3 years, and babies were born, and some couples split up, and a lot of changes. And I wonder what motivated all those changes beyond the pandemic. Like inside, we had all those little ideas inside, and then when there was time and space, they just burst. So I wonder how much of that, including art, art had a renaissance, I would say, again in the during the pandemic. So I wonder how much of that was just waiting for you to have that time and space to just happen. But tell me then, you broke up with a band. I love how you said it the first time you said it to me, like you said, because of all the right reasons and in peace, which is a beautiful thing. So tell me about your first solo release. It's Solid Ground. What a great name for a start. Like, what a kickoff.
Yeah.
I love that song so much. Like when I listened to it the first time, it gave me happy tears. Like it was very warming to my heart. And I wonder how were you feeling with all these? Like, how did you organize yourself? I'm like, okay, I'm a solo artist.
Yeah.
How do I start this now?
It's not, I'd say it's not really a rational thing.
Okay.
But that song, I wrote it before I became the solo artist. So I wrote it when I was still with my band. And I recorded it with my piano player from that band.
Okay.
And then the breakup of the band was afterwards. And so I had that song recorded and everything, but I didn't release it.
Okay.
And then when I was starting with my solo thing, I was talking to a lot of people, and it helped me a lot, but it also confused me a lot, because everyone gives good advice, but in the end, it's so much, and it's not always the same idea of how you should do things and what should you release and how should you do everything. And so I was not sure that I was going to use that song, really, because I was thinking, okay, when I start solo, it must be something really bam, it must be something loud and whatever. And then it was a process. And then one day I just thought, well, why not start with something that's just true? It's nothing, there is no show, there's no highlight stuff in it. It's just a meaning that's important to me, and it should be really natural. And I thought, okay, when I'm starting solo with piano and voice, maybe that's what I should show the world. It's just what I do and who I am, without any glamour or stuff to it.
I love that you say, well, to start with what is true, because when everything ends, when we have a lot of changes and when everything goes back and forth and ideas and advice and confusion and all that,
yeah,
the only thing that is still standing is the truth.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful. And I feel like you went back to yourself, you went back to what you had, and you said yes to it, and it shows. You can feel it in the song. It's so sentimental. It's so emotional. Like it left me now. So I'm so happy you went for it. And sometimes it's like that. The creative process is like that. Like you envision one thing and it ends up being another thing. So that's
Yes, it's crazy.
pretty
Crazy trip.
it's pretty crazy. So tell me about the second release.
I'm really excited to share that one, because that song went through some changes as well, because it was like a really, I'd say, a cheesy ballad in the beginning. And it's called Spark.
Uh-huh.
And it's about opening up in front of others, and in front of your special one, and just showing what's behind the wall. And this can be very frightening. It's hard. It's not always easy to show who you are. And so I thought it cannot be so cheesy anymore, because it's like the message is not cheesy at all. So I made an arrangement where it sounded like a rock song.
Oh.
And maybe that's a little wild. And so I took it back to an acoustic version.
Mm-hmm.
But it also has some guitar in it. And I really like the vibe. It's really, it's like you are at home and you're jamming. It's
Perfect for a Saturday night. Perfect for a Saturday night then.
Or for the after party, where it's when you calm down. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So you went from solid ground to sparks. That's that's already some jump right there. And how is that how you're feeling these days? Like you feel you go back and forth between that flow of emotions and ideas and concepts? How does that reflect in your music?
I'd say it's a pretty like mixed emotions, where you feel really, really happy about music that you can share with people, and then about a lot of tension where you don't know how it will sound, how will the master sound, how will the mix sound. And I think from the outside you don't really realize what's going on in like the mind of the artist, because it's a lot of not only cool and easy stuff to go through. It's basically a lot of tension. And once it's out, it's just really, once I decided to put it out and I know it's going to be like this, I'm in peace, and I'm looking forward to release it. And the cool thing also is a Swiss singer, actually, of a band called The Gardener and the Tree, once said something really cool, I guess. He said, you write a song, and then maybe 2 years later or so, you understand the lyrics.
Oh, wow.
And for me, this is really, I heard it and I thought, this makes so much sense. Because sometimes even after releasing it, you'd still say, what
was I trying to say there?
Yeah, and then you get it. Like, it's strange, but you yourself, you'd understand your song better from time to time.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really touching, because it reminds me when you write, like when you write a book, when you write an article, when you write a quote, you're feeling it, but you don't feel it until you read it like a zillion times later. Like, you felt. I love that process. I love that. I also love that you're giving yourself the time to go through all these stages. Like I have known you now for 4 or 5 years, and I have always heard about your music career, but I love how you are like keeping the pace with it. You are still living a life out there. Like you have a great partner, you have your son now. And I think that growth as a woman definitely shows in your music.
Thank you. That's so good to hear.
Yeah, it sounds like mature, beautiful, mature music. And I love that. I love that. So can you look at, you just mentioned it was about to be cheesy before, and you were like, maybe I don't want to be that cheesy anymore, you know? That's what happened. You think it's because of your own growth as a person?
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with self-awareness and self-confidence. So, yeah, like getting to know yourself and feeling good about the things you do. And so it's something I think every artist must learn somehow to be authentic.
Yes.
And it's not so easy. It's just not, it really needs a growth. And you also, I mean, I worked on myself on I did a lot of work on my person, let's say, to grow. And I think that shows in music.
Beautiful.
That, yeah. It's a really good feeling, because now I think after a long time, again, I can say that I really feel what I do, that I'm at home when I do this.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. Yeah, like you know the difference. You know the difference when you're doing things for like just to do something, and when you're doing things because you need to express another idea. Like it's a totally different situation. I'm going to ask you, so you started, when did your music career start? Like who was Katy back then?
So it's hard to say, because I grew up in a musical family, so music was always normal for me. And for a long time, I did not realize that this was something special. Even that writing songs and stuff, this would be something very normal for me. And after like normal school, I went to study jazz. Like I studied jazz singing. And I'd say this was maybe the point in my life where I knew, okay, this is gonna be also not something I like just doing in my free time, but this is what I'm gonna do. But it also led me towards teaching as well. And now I feel like it's time that I can focus on my singing for once, because I was focusing more on teaching for quite a bit, and I always sang in bands and stuff. And now I really love focusing on my music. Yeah, I feel like now it's my time. Yeah.
Beautiful. And you mentioned self-awareness. You mentioned some work that you did on your own. Can you share a little bit of that process too?
It's huge. I mean, the process, I don't know, it's been going on for years, but definitely what I can say, I mean, it's not something you do on your own. Growth has a lot to do with the people in your life, and you talk and you grow together with others, and you reflect and you try out things. And of course, you do a lot of mistakes. So that, I mean, I don't know how many mistakes they were really important to find out what I want from life. But I think becoming a mother was like let's not say the last drop of self-confidence, but it was like, this really changed something in me. I mean, my work started before, but this huge change in life really did so much with me and my awareness and of what's important in life and what's not, so that I'd say this was really a huge, like a very beautiful experience, and still is, and I'm still learning, because a child, I guess, is the best teacher you could get.
Forever. It's your teacher forever.
Mm-hmm.
That's so great. Like I love that you were already on the road, on the path, and then motherhood definitely gave you the last kick.
Yes.
It is very, and it's sometimes it could be motherhood, sometimes it's a life event, you know, sometimes it could be yoga, sometimes like when you do a headstand or a handstand, you'll say like, if I did that, I could do anything. So it's also very important to see like the very courageous things we're doing every day in our lives. And I think art is a way to celebrate it. Like I always think, when I think about the most courageous things that we have done, like writing, putting your ideas out there, putting your music out there, like getting on stage, playing, being online, like it's everything. It's brave. It is brave to do it. So chapeau, I really celebrate the courage of being an artist. And you have so many things that you could be doing. Like life is very consuming. And you're doing it. So I told Marcelo, your husband, I said like, that says a lot of you as a woman, as you as a couple, as parents. Like you are giving yourself the time and space to do the things you love, and I'm sure that keeps you happy and that keeps the household happy.
Yeah.
A frustrated wife and mom is not good for anybody. No. Good. And you know, our podcast is about the evolution of people in their 30s and 40s. How old are you now?
I always must think, because I'm so old now that I don't remember, but I'm 34 now.
Oh, you're so young. Oh, I didn't know you were that young back then. Well, I'm 41. And as you know, like I've been studying the 30s and now the 40s. So do you have part of this process and this growth and this evolution? Can you tell if it has something to do with your 30s or not?
I think so. I definitely think so. I feel like when I was about 30, there was a change, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't really know why it is. maybe you know more.
It clicks.
Yeah. It's just, I think it's a phase in life where you maybe for me, it's like I lost myself a little, not in a bad way, but it's like you go there, and when you're 30, you feel like, what am I doing here? I need to go there.
Yeah.
And this takes a while, but definitely that was
you got it. Yes. And good. You did it quick enough. You did it early on. You are 34 and you're back on path, back on the track. Also, I wanted to ask you, now that you have 2 songs, how do you see the flow? Do you think you have like a plan for the rest of your music, or you're letting your feelings come up slowly? How do you foresee the future of this new solo career?
I have both. So I have a plan, and I have like the freedom to destroy that plan whenever I feel like.
Flexible.
Because what I really need, what I really need is like the freedom to do whatever I feel like doing. And it was really important to me that I don't want to release stuff that I don't feel, only just because 2 years ago I said that I would, and now I have to. So I did solo concerts, like only with piano and voice. And I felt that I cannot do everything. I can't express everything that I would like.
Right.
So I'm not gonna tell too much, but there will be something that's not just piano and voice, and it's gonna be louder.
Oh, nice.
Gonna be louder because I really love like the acoustic thing and that really true raw, like that. It's just natural music, I guess. It's timeless. It's not really telling stories. I love doing this, but I also love guitars and I love drums. And so this, I realized that while I was playing that shows, it's not everything I want.
Got it.
So I also, for the future, there will be something louder, and I won't stay alone forever. But there won't be 7 people around me. So
you grow flexibly, like you grow at your own pace, and that's a beautiful thing too, knowing when you want to be alone, knowing when you have company. Like it's beautiful. And I'm wondering, what's the spiritual journey here too? Like there are so many layers, right? Like there is the creative freedom, there is the age, there is the motherhood. And listening to you, I'm curious about any spiritual journey here going on too. Do you feel that happening inside?
yeah, of course. I feel like singing or like songwriting is, I feel like that's really spiritual in a way, because when I'm writing songs, it's not like, okay, I'm gonna sit down today, I'm gonna write a song about a man that did this and that, and then it's not, I just wait, and it's like I wait for what's to come. Like it's not really active in a way. It's hard to describe, but it's just, okay, I feel like I could write a song today, so I'm gonna sit down and see what happens.
Got it.
So I think this is like the creating process. Not only with songwriting, I think whatever you love doing and where you can create something, I think this is like maybe the most spiritual it can be, because you
it becomes a spiritual practice. Like when you love something and you give yourself the time and space to do it, like it becomes a spiritual practice. I'm totally with you. Like I think if we think of spiritual practices as something that makes us happy and that we create the opportunity to do it and to share it with others, and I think it's a source of well-being and good, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, and also I think like the creating process, and also the like that moment when I decided I'm gonna go for that, it all just somehow happened.
Mm-hmm. It flows.
It's just, and this is like something magical. You don't, in a way, it's like, yeah, you could plan and do stuff and you worked hard for it, but in a way, like that moment when you were really clear about, this is what I'm here for, then things happen. And I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's even easier that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's even easier when you just release and you allow things to happen and fall into place. And beautiful, instead of pushing ourselves, like forcing things and the hustle and everything. Beautiful. And so let's see, if you had to define, maybe, I don't know if it's an album name or maybe it's a tour name, or if you had to define this new stage of your life and career, how would you say it? How would you call it?
So I think I would like make 2 different sections for the now, because at the moment I'm doing two things at once. So there's the part of me that does like it's a real title, so I call it Songs and Stories, because I sing songs that I wrote maybe 5 years ago or whatever, and I still like singing them, and I'm looking back on all the things I shared with other musicians, and it's like a grateful feeling and a celebration of what was.
Yeah.
So it's like the past in the present in a way, so that I call this Songs and Stories. And for the future, if I should name it, it must be something very natural. Maybe I'd call it magic, because it somehow feels kind of magic.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And I love the Songs and Stories, because I don't sing or write songs, but I'm all about stories. When I saw that in your communication, in your social media, I'm like, oh, I love it, because I think we are all stories. We are the stories we tell ourselves in our head, the stories we share with others. Our body tells our stories, like every scar, every mark we have, like if we could only live knowing that we're making our own story as we go, it's a beautiful thing. So I loved it, and I'm glad you brought it up. And magic, yes, magic too. Like I'm just tuning in a little bit more with magic these days. Like I used to be a very rational person and very like logic and all that. So I love when people bring light to magic around me, and it happens a lot. It happens a lot lately. It's just opening your eyes and your heart to see it, right?
Yeah.
That's how would you define like that magic around you right now? What's happening around you? You're like, oh, that was so magical.
I'm just really grateful for what happened, whatever happened in my life. And I think I'm just grateful to see. Sometimes I feel like walking through like the forest, I feel like it's just so beautiful. I can't help myself. It's just the beauty of things. Once you realize how beautiful, like how you are surrounded by beautiful nature and people. And of course, it's not, life is not always like rainbows and stuff, but there's a lot of scary things also, but not only. And so I like to see the bright side of life as well. So
yeah, gratitude does that to you. Gratitude, like it's the best, fastest, easiest way to see the magic around, because you realize everything is a miracle. Everything is so fortunate, and I'm glad you feel that gratitude inside, because it shows again. It shows in the glow in your skin, it shows in your smile, it shows in your art. And I'm very happy. I'm very excited for all the music you're releasing. I can't wait to listen to Spark and celebrate with you the launch. Like Solid Ground was like woof, and I know it will go just in crescendo from there. So thank you for sharing. I'm very happy and grateful that we got to talk, and I hope we get to celebrate in person. Like I hope I get to see you on stage one day soon.
That would be so cool.
That would be awesome. So where can people find your music right now?
Okay, so the two easiest ways would be my my website, or it's katy-o.com.
Okay.
Or then you'd find like the whole link tree with all the things, this and that, on my Instagram account, which is Katy_O_music. So there you'd find everything and more.
Perfect. So thank you so much. I know how difficult it is to step out of your many hats that you're wearing. So thank you for taking this time. And
Thank you so much.
I can't wait to celebrate. I can't wait to celebrate the release of Spark and every single song that you will be putting out there. It's been a great pleasure to know you and to reconnect with you after so many years. I think this is the part where we go back to ourselves. We go back to the people we met and we liked and we would have been apart. So we're here for you. I know the audience in Latin America and the Hispanics in the US, everybody, that's the beauty of art. You don't even need to speak the same language. Music is the language. So thank you for sharing it with us.
Thank you so much, and all the best for your projects. I think this is gonna be very cool.
I'm having fun, and you know how that goes. Like, if you're having fun, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
So please, big hug to your baby. Hug to Marcello, and we'll be in touch, okay?
Yeah, and hugs and kisses to your family too, and talk to you really soon. Thank you so much. Bye. Bye.
Espero que hayas disfrutado este episodio. En nuestra página web en losta.com puedes encontrar nuestro blog y material exclusivo solo para ti. Además, por favor síguenos en todas las redes sociales y gracias por seguir creciendo con nosotros.